Good morning to the Supreme Court Justices of the Idaho Supreme Court. In regards to docket number 40016-2012, James Clark versus Crybaby Food, for oral argument on June 5th, 2013, the Idaho State Insurance Fund did commit fraud. The law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall straight out lied to you, the Idaho Supreme Court, on June 5th of 2013. The law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall at oral argument stated that they did not get involved, that they were not involved in this case until after Miss JULIAN had received my private health records. But that is a lie. If you read this, this is a letter that was sent to the Idaho Department of Correction on August 1st, 2008. And if you look down here at the very bottom, it says, Alan K. Hall, carbon copy, file. So that was a straight out lie that they stated to you in the Idaho Supreme Court on June 5th of 2013. How am I supposed to be able to respond to that? I have a document. Clearly, they were also involved while getting my private health records without my authorization, without protecting these records in any way, shape, or form. Mr. Alan K. Hall, right down there on the bottom. That's right. A lot of my documents are written on, even in the, because I had the documents in my possession before LYNN Luker. You know, for at least 2 years before I hired LYNN Luker in regards to the fraud that was committed against me. Which is where we come to now. My understanding through Steve Kenyon, clerk of the court, that it was the Supreme Court that made the decision that LYNN Luker, in regard to my motion or my filing before the Supreme Court, to have a person or someone, and that was LYNN Luker, Idaho State Legislator, to appear at oral argument. I guess I was denied to have him come before the Supreme Court. The reason why I turned and looked around and asked if LYNN Luker was in the house or in the courtroom is because I did hire LYNN Luker. I hired LYNN Luker even after he made these accusations that he could no longer go on with my case, so he was entitled to withdraw based upon the commission. He withdrew on the 20th of December of 2008 and was granted December 23rd, 2008. But you see, even though I found out afterwards under the Idaho under the Idaho attorney rules of professional conduct, when an attorney withdraws from a client, then that attorney can no longer have contact. But then again, I'm not real sure what's going on, but I have a letter here that I faxed to LYNN Luker on December 27th of 2008. Of December 27th of 2010, to please come back and help me finish my claim. And at his request, as I have stated in the past videos, I also was willing to close my claim for my SSD. But then again, I didn't really realize what that would have entailed until afterwards. But you see, Mr. Lynn Luker, you are my attorney. Or are you? Because I'm a little confused because you withdrew through the commission. And then again, I've got this letter, as you all didn't think that I had these documents. I also have a letter from Lynn Luker / legislator who quit on me, who quit on my Social Security, which he also stated in some paperwork that I have, but I wasn't supposed to make it this far. He put in his paperwork that he hadn't had, that he wrote a letter, supposedly he wrote a letter to me saying that he's going to go ahead and withdraw. He hasn't done no filing in regards to my Social Security, so I don't owe him anything. But then again, here a few months back, I was looking at the Social Security disability decision, and geez, look, Lynn Luker had suggested a hearing to be set for my Social Security back in June of 2010. Now, Lynn Luker, what the hell is that? So, where I'm at is clearly, again, I truly objected to the fact that I had to stand before the Supreme Court at oral argument based upon my attorney not appearing on my behalf. So I had no other choice but to move forward without my attorney. Which, as I stated, I'm illiterate to the laws and how everything works. But, I'm fighting to try to show the corruption that's going on in Idaho. And here's some more of it. Because these are things that I didn't quite get before the Idaho Supreme Court, because I wasn't supposed to talk about my attorney. I wasn't supposed to talk about Social Security. But then again, Social Security was part of my claim because I had filed it while I was institutionalized based upon my doctors suggesting that I go in, even though that their doctors in the Supreme Court was lying again. Just like they stated that I'd only, that I was returned to, like 2 hours a day, part-time. But again, that was a lie. Show me that document. But I'll show you a document where I was returned full-time, 10 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week. So, another lie. And a bunch of other lies. I truly believe that these people need to be held accountable. Or again, I am willing to take that settlement offer that Lynn Luker put together. I mean, who better than an Idaho state legislator who works on the judicial, which would be the Industrial Commission, who helps put the rules and everything in place. But I'm sure there's going to be some changes going on. So things like however I was able to get in there, those doors will be now closed for future injured workers. But people need to be held accountable. I had to be held accountable. In oral argument, they say, that my physician, it should have been done by a psychiatrist. Well, let me tell you what. Then why didn't my damn attorney, Lynn Luker, do one? Tell me that. But I know my doctors were all suggesting that you all help me get some psychiatric help that you guys continue to deny. And you guys say, and the commission says that y'all have never denied me. But isn't it a fact, Miss Rachel O'Barr, in one of those 152 pages or 154 page that I filed that made the commission stop me from being allowed to file anything else because I got too close? Isn't it a fact that in there you were talking to Walgreen on my behalf, trying to figure out how to get these medications dispensed to me? But again, they wouldn't do it because, again, they weren't getting paid. But you guys were making it sound like third-party solution. It was the problem of third-party solution, which I already knew it wasn't. I mean, kind of look in some of the, well, I don't know if they're in the files or not. In some of the Lynn Luker letters that I have, it even states where Lynn Luker is even trying to get them to pay, the medical bills. It would benefit us all if we get those medications filled. So tell me something, man. What have I done? Am I angry? Yes, I am. So, we'll see what happens. You know, all that I've been wanting to do is move forward in my life. The $700 and some thousand that Lynn Luker put together. He's not so ordinary attorney off the corner. So here we are with, and all what I did was added on the S&W Act because my company was found not to be, my company was found in 21 serious violations just weeks after my accident, and also was fined on 15 of those serious violations, including the area where I almost lost my life, and also for not giving their employees a safe workplace. So that's where it brought it up to $1.2 million. Again, I'm way over here in Idaho, sirs. All I'd like to do is just move forward. Everything I put in my brief after the hearing, in my two briefs, in my first brief and my respond brief, that one that I put together in my respond brief, that settlement offer was the one that was presented to the Idaho State Insurance Fund by my attorney, Lynn Luker. He's the one that put that together. I only added on the S&W Act, which brought it up to $1.2 million. And again, I'm still willing to just move on with my life. So I would still be willing to be entitled to that, and that only, just to move forward. But if I have to keep continuing to move forward with these people, and with Lynn Luker, a legislator, I've done nothing wrong. So I will be coming that way to have Lynn Luker answer to me why he didn't appear at oral argument. And I don't care where he's at, because that's my freedom of speech, and that's my right to freedom of speech. It's just like my rights of protected health records under a federal law that clearly they violated without taking any of the documents that were not relevant to my injury and protecting those from their doctors that had no reason to be reading them. So I had seizures, so I had, this or that. That had nothing to do with it, just like my father's name. Why did they allow my father's name to be printed out? That's in the records. They didn't protect my father's name. That was not relevant to the claim or the complaint, whichever one. Because your decision does reflect on my next move. Because I don't believe Lynn Luker's out of the water yet. See, December 27th, after he withdrew, because I was just unreasonable, and he didn't even file that lien until I hired him back on December 27th. That's when he filed that lien. Think about it. And under the Idaho Professional Rules of Standard by an attorney, well, even the law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall even violated the Idaho attorney rules of professional conduct, because they also came back to try to make that settlement offer. They may have not have talked to me, but they talked to an attorney that I believed I hired. But then he writes me a letter on December 29th of 2010 and states, we're right back where we started, with the commission granting me withdrawal. I don't think so. Because I haven't really read the real reason why you withdrew the first time, which, again, if I would have known, I would have had that right to argue why you should not be allowed to. Just like that one time right there, when you wrote me that letter, December 29th of 2010, one day before you were supposed to do the deposition of my psychiatrist. And 2 days before you were supposed to do the deposition of my counselor, the 2 major doctors who really truly treated me, that helped me keep me from wanting to amputate my arm, the ones that taught me and showed me and explained to me what venom pain was, because I couldn't believe it at first, whatever. But I did talk to a couple of amputees on the advice of a doctor. So you see, I just want to move forward. Clearly, again, they haven't just been lying to the Industrial Commission between August 15th and October 10th, stating that without Mr. Clark signing these HIPAA medical release forms, they can't get these records. But in fact, they had lied because they wanted me to go ahead and sign them so I can cover up their fraud and never know. But because I was arguing the point that my elbow had no relevance because Dr. Hansen was the one that was involved in my elbow. So why would he, because they kept saying that would help my medical providers for future treatments or whatever in regards to this injury. But you see, in reality, Dr. Hansen, obviously he's the one, because he's the one that did the impairment rating. So it would have been him, and that's where I kept saying it's not relevant. But in fact, he'd already received them and sent them all out to medical providers without protecting anything in those records. Any kind of medical reports that I had in those records, you guys didn't protect. You did it 3 times on me. And then for Lynn Luger, did not even go and try to clear that one for me, but I had to do it on my own. That's when I found out about that, about the Holy Rosary ones, how you'd receive those in the same manner, but they requested specifically prior to April 17, 2008, and a prompt response would be appreciated. So I'm objecting to the fact that I had to go before the Idaho Supreme Court without my attorney, Lynn Luger / legislator, who didn't just quit on me after my hearing, but one who refused to call one single itty-bitty witness on my behalf, who refused to call anyone to rebuke the Idaho State industrial doctors. No one. He didn't even pay for the Dr. Hansen, my surgeon. And that wasn't done until way after, in December. So really, man, what's going on here? So this is where I'm at. I'm sitting here waiting for your all's decision. I can't get really a true answer through Steve Kenyon's Clerk of Court because, I don't know, just like, I asked him in regards to the one about Lynn Luger because he is my attorney. I have documents. I've already put these out on YouTube. He was my attorney, and he abandoned me at oral argument. And then the Supreme Court, from my understanding, from Steve Kenyon, because I also have an email from him. Now, did it come from the Supreme Court? Did it come from you all? Or did it come from the Commission? So, I'd just like to move forward. I appreciate you justices allowing me to come forward on June 5th, 2008, and to tell my story. And there's a whole lot more. You just wouldn't even understand it. Well, maybe you would. But I'd like to also know, and I will be sending it with this document, that I had to respond to something from the Supreme Court that had no reference number, and I did respond to it. Now, if I go before the Supreme Court and ask a question in regards to that, there's no reference on it. Why not? So that's just a little area that I can't really prove but I do have a letter from you all that I did respond to in regards to the August 23rd, September 2008 September 23rd. So you see, so I'm just wanting to move forward. Thank you very much. And me and my family pray that you do the right thing and to hold these people accountable. Please, I'm asking you to remove some of those things from the web page that's been published. And clearly, I can also seek damages for her. And then for Miss JULIAN for Miss Rachel O'Barr at oral argument, speak something about that something should be handled in the circuit court. Oh, is that in regards to my private health records? Well, right now I'm before the Supreme Court in regards to that. I believe, just like Lynn Luker, I believe that I had filed an appeal because there was 2 findings of facts and conclusions of law that was sent to me. There was 2 briefs sent to me. So where am I at on that? Do you all know everything that's going on over here? I don't know. I don't know if somebody there does. Now, I'm not real sure if I heard it right from my partner that was there. But then again, there's another issue there because I was told by Steve Kenyon before, along with a letter that I received, that yes, Miss Kerr can appear at the table with me based upon my disability, but she cannot speak. But then when the justices begin to speak on who was appearing, well, you spoke to Elaine in the same regards as you did Rachel O'Barr. So was Elaine Kerr, because I wanted her to testify also in regards to some of these records and stuff. But then again, I was told she wasn't allowed to talk. So even though you said what you said, it wasn't clicking because I was pretty stressed and nervous. But then after I got to thinking about it, after it was all over, it's going, now wait a minute now. You see, so again, yeah, I kind of was looking at Steve Kenyon over that way a little bit. I was looking at my lady too. But now I'm starting to question Steve Kenyon's clerk of the courts, which everything that I'm supposed to be doing has to be done through a motion. But that's not what they do. So, I'm gonna send a letter to y'all. I'm gonna fax it. I'm gonna email it, and I'm gonna request the clerk of the court because of my ignorance. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, because I know my next move after your decision, if it goes in their favor in any way, shape, or form, other than allowing me totally disabled under the odd lot, then I will have no choice but to move forward to the Idaho Supreme Court and to also file charges before a federal court in regards to their fraud. So please, I'm just asking to do the right thing. I'm worn out, I'm tired, I still got some in me, because I'm not a quitter. Because if you did nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. Isn't that right, Miss Rachel O'Barr? Isn't that right, Miss JULIAN? Isn't that right, Mr. Alan K. Hall? And also you, Mr. Lynn Luker, legislator for the state of Idaho, who I thought I took off, who got me off of a question in regards to the fraud that was being committed by me. But then, that I put on the webpage that I believe that you responded to. But then I heard in an oral argument on June 5th, 2008, because I asked him, who did hire Lynn Luker? And I was told the Industrial Commission did. All this time, you all made me believe that I hired you to the point where I told you every single thing that I caught them doing. Isn't that right, Mr. Lynn Luker / legislator? And you didn't object to anything that was being asked of me during my hearing of my past? You asshole. So I'm waiting, stressing, because again, I don't know what is before the Idaho Supreme Court in those records, because I was also denied final review of all records from the Idaho State Insurance Fund through the Industrial Commission. So, but again, it's not over until the check has been deposited into my account. And then you will never ever hear from me again. Because this wasn't about money to me at first. If you read their true stories from my doctors and not their alterations of the meaning of a sentence to make it sound false. False writing, just like there was false filings, obviously, because isn't it true? Oh, it is, and it is true that in 2009, I did win my subpoena of Sandy Basket. I did win my motion to have JULIAN testify in person at a hearing when one is set in the future. And then for them to turn around and use the same thing after I hired my attorney, which my attorney knew what was going on too, because they did it November 10th, my birthday, happy birthday, of 2010, where Miss Rachel Labar filed the same damn thing that she filed in 2009, which she was denied with. But they didn't tell you that in the Supreme Court. You see, so there's a lot of things that I wasn't aware that was going on, because obviously if you really read up to LYNN and then to have nothing done, don't make sense. I didn't fight that damn hard. Then to turn around in February and turn around like what he had filed. And then to file to the Industrial Commission that there is a phone conference set in the future. Could you please set it after legislation? And I had to have been, what, another 7 months down the road? So what did he really do? So I'm just wanting to move forward because I have all these documents. Allow me to really come in and tell the whole story and not just parts and pieces of it and let them try to make it's not going to happen, period, anyway. Because no matter what, all these are going to be seen. I have a right to be heard. And is that what scares them? Is that I'm very voiceful? I've never threatened really anybody. I want answers. I've been barred out of any building that the Industrial Commission occupies. And if I do enter any building that the Industrial Commission occupies, I can be arrested. I have that letter by Mindy Montgomery, which you should have read, because I believe that I filed that with the Idaho Supreme Court for stay of all proceedings. But again, I was denied my stay of all proceeding, I think based upon those 2 altered medical reports that came from the law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall. But I'm being told no, I didn't. Then what did I get denied on? But I guess it was the Industrial Commission that made the decision again. So that's the place where I believe things need to be changed. If you file a complaint against the Idaho State Industrial Commission or the State Insurance Fund, that you don't file it to them, that don't make a lot of sense. Because they're protecting themselves. They're all state agencies. The State Insurance Fund, the State Industrial Commission, State Legislator, LYNN, everybody's state. And then you got the law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall, who has litigated for the state of Idaho. How Miss Rachel Labar has that out so proudly on their webpage of the firm. So, it's just not making sense to me, man. I was nervous over there on June 5th. But, I think when I sit down, when I did, I think that was a big thing for me. Because when I stood up, I can produce every document that I say I have. And it will be shown. Now that I've learned how it all kind of should be put together. But again, I'm still being denied to fax and file anything as of right now. Steve Kenyon, clerk of the court, will not tell me an email address or a fax number. But then again, somebody just a little while ago pointed something out to me in regards to an email I got on my okay, you see, this is where everything goes now. Miss Rachel O'Barr of the law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall, or whoever's been getting into my documents on my computer, because we all know it can be done, and it ain't no craziness. So every time I do something now, it goes right onto here. Alter it. So hope y'all take this and do the right thing. Make these people held accountable, or have them produce the documents. Produce the documents. They say, oh, well, even though they put that thing in there where I fire an attorney, well, that really doesn't have anything to do or any decision. Then why did you put it in there? Why did you put in there that I had fired? Because see, that's attacking me. That's making me look like I don't even want to go there. But I know that it was put in there to benefit Lynn Luker, who quit on me for his lien. Because y'all can make it look like, well, I was just hiring and firing attorneys because if I didn't get my way, I'd fire him. Well, you know what? That's not how. I didn't fire him. That's just it. I've got a document to show why they left. Why Mr. Roger Brown no longer continued with my case. And it wasn't because I fired him. It wasn't because there was a disagreement or anything like that. And bless his heart, I heard that he had passed in a car accident. But you know, that just shows how low these people will go to use somebody that's now deceased also. Because how can I prove it? Because he's no longer here. So, I hope y'all do the right thing. Because I don't have a life. I didn't even get a Father's Day. I didn't even get a Father's Day card from my kids. And I didn't even get an email or nothing because you fuckers. Not you justices, but because of the Idaho State Insurance Fund and the living hell that they have put me through in the last 5 years. Now I've got to try to go and overcome that. But at least I found them just days before my accident. So at least they're kind of in a part of my life. Okay, I'll let y'all go. Please do the right thing. Here again, letter that I hired Lynn Luker back. So I object to the fact that Lynn Luker was not allowed to be there on my behalf. And then here, the law firm clearly lied when they said that was done prior to them being involved in the claim or the case. But clearly, Alan K. Hall, right on the bottom, CC, carbon copy filed. You see? So they were also involved. I want them held accountable. Thank you very much, sirs. Have a good day. God bless you.